Alleluia, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia. The psalm for Good Shepherd Sunday is an easy choice. It is really the only choice. It is Psalm 23. We will sing it 3 different ways today. We could have sung it in 7, and we would all love each and every one of those 7. And it is a psalm that is worth hearing again in this old familiar translation. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It is a favorite psalm of many, a memorized psalm, read at the cradle and at the deathbed, read, prayed, sung at weddings, confirmations, and funerals. It is the obvious choice for Good Shepherd Sunday. It is really the only choice. But there is another psalm worth considering today. And this other psalm, this used less psalm, will help us appreciate the often used 23rd psalm. This other psalm fits in well with Jesus' words in John 10. There, Jesus is speaking as the Good Shepherd, explaining what sets him apart as the only Good Shepherd. Jesus explains what he does for the sheep. He lays down his life for the sheep. He gives his voice to the sheep. In John 10, Jesus is talking about his relationship as shepherd with his sheep. Even as in Psalm 23, we talk about our relationship as sheep with our shepherd. John 10 and Psalm 23 both talk about the sheep-shepherd relationship. And this other psalm gets at the same beautiful truths that we cherish on Good Shepherd Sunday, but gets at those beautiful truths from another angle. Instead of Jesus talking about being the good shepherd of his sheep, or we talking about being sheep of the good shepherd, this other psalm is one of the sheep speaking to the shepherd and praising him for his voice. This other psalm is Psalm 119. Now, Psalm 119 is never really used on Good Shepherd Sunday or at the cradle or at the deathbed. It is used almost exclusively as Bible trivia. It is the longest psalm. It has 176 verses, 170 more than Psalm 23. And it is possible, I suppose, to memorize Psalm 119, but you'll have better luck memorizing Psalm 23 in 7 different translations. Now, though Psalm 119 has so many verses, it is quite a simple psalm. It is the sheep praising the voice of the shepherd. Every 8 verses takes a letter of the Hebrew alphabet and sings of the wonder of his word. Like, this is how amazing the word of the Lord is. There is more than enough for each letter of the alphabet. And this is what sets apart the sheep as his sheep. Jesus said, they will listen to my voice. Listening to his voice sets apart his sheep as his sheep. The word of the shepherd is loved by the sheep. Sheep say things like, "Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all night long," from Psalm 119, verse 97. Or from verse 136, "My eyes shed streams of tears because people do not keep your law." This love of his voice, of his word, includes a desire to follow and to obey. This love of his voice sets apart his sheep as his sheep. But the voice of the sheep in Psalm 119 also acknowledges something that is so characteristic of us as sheep. We stray. The last verse of Psalm 119 says, "I have gone astray like a lost sheep." And then prays, "Seek your servant." In our sin, we can pray like this because we know that Jesus is the good shepherd who seeks. He will forgive. We know that he is not a hired hand who will save himself and cares nothing for the sheep. Jesus laid down his life for us, the straying sheep. He desires to go after us and gather us in. And his desire to gather us in is greater than our desire to go astray. When the conscience, or when Satan, or when some nagging Pharisee brings to mind our constant straying, remember what sets Jesus apart as the Good Shepherd. He lays down his life for the sheep. His desire to gather us in is greater than our desire to go astray. And he is really good at this shepherd work, seeking us who stray. You can learn to speak to your shepherd from Psalm 119. It can be an ongoing lesson to take all of these beautiful sections from Psalm 119 and learn to speak to your shepherd from them. And it takes time. 176 verses is a lot. You can set them aside one a day for a while. And if you take time with it, it will destroy the sleek and strong sinful nature within you. And it will bind up and strengthen the new man. It will guide you to return to the shepherd and overseer of your souls, even though we stray and stray and stray. Words like these will call us back. You can learn to speak to your shepherd from Psalm 119. And you can learn to speak to others about your shepherd from Psalm 23. With that short psalm written on your heart, you are ready to share the hope that you have with others who are like straying sheep. Their conscience is burdened by sin. They may not say it out loud with their voice into your ears that they feel terrible about what they've done. But if you're looking for the signs of a troubled conscience, you'll see it all over the place. Give them hope in the voice of the Good Shepherd. Speak to them about the one who bore our sins in his body on the tree. And let them hear this wonderful grace. Say to them, as you point them to him. By his wounds, you have been healed. Alleluia, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia.